Welcome back to r/LegalAdvice, where we read surprisingly interesting stories that usually don't end in a cliffhanger. If you are new to my channel, please feel free to subscribe to join our awesome community, and without any further ado, let's dive right in. And the first one is titled, "Just moved into a new house. Police officers are using and blocking my driveway to shoot radar. I asked them politely to move so I could use my driveway. They refused, said they had permission from the landlord." So I just moved into a new house that I am renting on June 1st. It is on a busy street with a low speed limit in a busy city in Philadelphia. And it is a well-known street for speed traps. I got home a couple days ago to find a police officer parked in my driveway right at the end so that I could not pull in. I honked at him, and instead of moving his car, he got out and talked to me and threatened to ticket me for blocking the street. I responded saying that I lived at this address and that I could not pull into my driveway, then asked him to leave. He told me that the landlord has given the department permission to use the driveway to shoot radar and also as a place to park while enforcing traffic during the Sunday rush of traffic from the church across the street. This was never stipulated in my lease or mentioned by the landlord, whose husband was a cop, I think. So I had to go find, then pay for city parking, 1.1 miles away, then walk back to my house, then walk and get my car again hours later when the officer left. Parking cost me $11.63 and I intend to get every penny back. That is how angry this situation has made me. While the officer was still parked there, I called the landlord, who did not answer. Still has not called me back days later, despite repeated phone calls. This morning I woke up to go to class. I walked out to my car to find the same officer parked in the driveway. I asked him to move and he told me, "I do not have to move as I have permission to park here from the property owner." I asked for and received his badge number, called the police, non-emergency number, and was transferred from one person to another without getting any answers. I missed my class. I don't know for sure that there were cops in my driveway this past Sunday to park their cruisers to control church traffic. I was at a friend's house, but I think that is unreasonable that they are allowed to do that. Why can't they just park at the church? This is infuriating to me. Nowhere in the lease, I've read it 4 times, is it stipulated that the police can use the driveway. On top of that, I want to be reimbursed for my $11 in parking, plus whatever money I lost for not going to a really important class. On top of all this, I'm really uncomfortable having the police in the driveway all the time. I'm doing nothing wrong, I just feel like my privacy is being invaded. I know I have to go talk to a lawyer, but where can I go with this from here? Do I have some kind of renter's rights that allow me to override what the landlord says because I am the one living on the property? If not, there has to be some kind of way that I can get out of the lease. Really don't want to go this route as it will be impossible to find somewhere else to live. I have not heard squat from the landlord. Edit, update. Howdy everyone, thanks for all the comments and advice. A couple people have asked where this is and I am hesitant to give a more precise location, but I am in a suburb outside of Pittsburgh. I saw 2 people comment and say that in PA police cannot use radar, which is probably true. Never saw what could be a radar gun being used, but I did say that in the post, which was my bad. I am from New Jersey originally and I say shooting radar colloquially to refer to a speed trap. That is my bad. I'm sorry for the confusion, however, it's cool to know there are no radar guns here. I got a security camera system in the mail from Amazon today and set it up this afternoon looking at my driveway. I also got a call back, finally, from my landlord just 20 minutes ago. She's an older woman and used the excuse that she's not good with technology as a reason for not getting back to me for 4 days. Bullshit, but that's not really that big of a deal. She said that she had allowed one of her husband's friends permission to sit there while the house was unrented for the past couple months and totally forgotten about it. She said she would contact him and ask him to stop. Not sure how much I believe that she forgot, but I'm pretty confident that she will ask him to stop. I am still pretty peeved that I was denied access to my house and that I was trapped there. Even if this guy had permission, it was incredibly rude of him to do these things. I'm going to talk to someone at the police station in about an hour. And guys, I'm curious, what would you do if the police would come to your property and basically use your driveway for their police operations? Would you allow that? Let us know in the comments. Furthermore, if you have watched until here, please don't forget to post some star emojis in the comments and also like the video to show your support. Thank you so much in advance, all help is very much appreciated. In addition, a user in the comments said, start parking at the end of your driveway on Saturday night. And then another person said, aside from building a gate, this is a great non-offensive solve. The city cannot really do anything to your car, assuming it is not listed for tow/boot. If it is on your property, this is somewhat gray area, but they cannot legally tow it. However, then another person clarified, they can find a way to legally tow it, I've seen it done. Some cops around Pittsburgh let their pens do a little exaggerating. Meanwhile, they get a kickback from the towing company. Here is what happens when you piss off the wrong cop around here. They tow your car because of inspection violations. They impound the car. They won't release the car until the inspection issues are fixed. But what issues? Oh, they won't tell you until you get the car. But they won't let you have the car. It takes 2 weeks at $75 a day for them to do their inspection. Plus $200 for the tow, you are now at $1,250 plus repairs before you can get your car. They won't release the car to be repaired until it is repaired. Magically, somehow. They usually do this to poor people who cannot afford an attorney to fight for them. I usually see about 4 to 5 people a year get trapped in this mess. And guys, I gotta say, if this is true, the Pittsburgh police sounds more like a mafia than a police. And now the update to the story from before. Howdy everyone, I've had lots of interest in an update on my situation. I moved into a new place on June 1st and a couple days after coming back there was a cop using my driveway as a speed trap and refused to let me use my driveway. I was peeved, parked somewhere else, and until a couple days later he was parked in my driveway as I needed to go leave to class and did not move when I asked. I missed the class, he said that he had permission from the landowner to use the driveway. I had trouble contacting the landlord, etc. I am happy to report this has a really good and easy ending, although there was not a swift justice ending to this, as there is to a lot of other stories here. I got a security camera and installed it, but did not need to use it. On Thursday, I went to the police headquarters or whatever it's called and asked to speak to the superior of the officer whose badge number I had received. I was very nice and did not make it sound like I had a complaint and was informed that the person I needed to speak with was not in at the moment, so the person I was speaking with gave me a business card and told me to call the supervisor tomorrow. A little later on Thursday, my landlady finally got in contact with me and apologized profusely for missing my calls. She played the little old lady, which she is, who cannot use her cell phone card. I'm not sure how accurate this is, but she explained that she had given an officer from our local police department who was friends with her deceased cop husband permission to use the driveway while the house was being renovated, was renovated before I moved in, and there had been a misunderstanding and she would sort it out. On Friday morning, before I had a chance to call the supervisor whose card I had received, the officer in question and landlord showed up at my door to apologize. He was very nice and explained himself. During and after our first interaction, he was still under the impression that the house was being renovated, there still is a dumpster on the property, and did not believe that I lived there. He had asked for my ID and I had been unable to use it as proof that I lived there as I had just moved in and hadn't done the change of address stuff yet, which is my bad, I have now. So he continued to use the driveway. I should point out that my place has a garage that I park in, so there is never a car in the driveway, it is always hidden. The second time we interacted, my car was still in the garage, so he could not see it and thought the house was still being renovated. He says he watched me go into my house and after realizing that my landlady must have forgotten to inform him that she was renting the property again, he left. After being frustrated about missing my class, I immediately just went back to sleep. I had a rough night previously, so if I take him for his word, he was only there for a couple minutes after our second interaction. He again apologized and gave me his card, saying, if I ever needed anything, to give him a ring. He then asked if he could continue to use the driveway if he moved out of my way, and I respectfully declined, which he seemed understanding of, and that was that. I know there will be people here who think that I should still go speak with this guy's supervisor, and I understand the reasoning, but for right now I'm going to take his word for it that he won't be back because I have no video of him being there from the first 2 encounters, so it is his word against mine. If he does come back, I will have video, and you bet your ass I will be right into his supervisor's office with the footage. Although the second part of his explanation does seem a bit fabricated, I'm not trying to make a big issue out of this because he did very sincerely apologize. My landlady is giving me a month of free rent, I have it in writing, for the trouble and to reimburse me for the parking, missed class and so on. Hoping I never have to be bothered with something as idiotic as this again, but if I do, I now have a camera and I know what to do. And guys, I'm curious, do you think OP should have pursued this further? And did he give up too quickly? Let us know your opinion in the comments. And the next one is titled, Moved into a house owned by my landlord, who also happens to live there. Gave me access to entirety of the house with some restrictions. Is he allowed to restrict access to a shower? Obligatory, this is in Chesapeake, Virginia, for local and state law purposes. At the beginning of the month, I was moved into this townhouse owned by my landlord, who also happens to live there as well. When I moved in, he said I would have unrestricted access to the entire house minus 2 rooms, his room and his dog's bedroom. I of course had no problem with that and said that is fine. Now there's only 2 bathrooms in the house. One bathroom is a full bathroom that is shared by all 3 bedrooms upstairs, but is also directly connected to my landlord/roommate room, and the other bathroom is just a half bath. I can only use the full bathroom to take a shower when my landlord/roommate is there and awake because he locks the upstairs bathroom. His reason for locking the upstairs bathroom is this, because the door that is leading to his room from the bathroom is broken, which can be easily fixed with a hook and eye. Until the door jamb can be fixed, the door to the bathroom will be locked in order to prevent me from potentially going into his room and robbing him blind. His words, not mine. He is an older black guy who also happens to be gay, so I can understand his worry about a house that he and his late husband built together. But neither of us is on the same work schedule. I am up at 3 to 4:30 in the morning and he's usually up anywhere from 6 to 11 in the morning. Is he allowed to restrict access to the shower during certain times just because his door is broken, and is there anything that I can do in order to stop it from happening? And a user in the comments suggested, tell him you need access to a shower all the time or you are moving out immediately. Not having a full bathroom makes it uninhabitable, just like if he turned off the water. And now an update to the landlord's story. At the advice of several nice people on here, thank you, I went ahead and typed up a notice to my landlord and sent it to him. Using the power of Virginia Landlords and Tenants Acts, I was able to make a well-written post explaining what he violated. He proceeded to belittle me in every single way possible, as well as tell me he will not be fixing anything. At this point, I do believe the ball is out of my court now and in his hands. Is there anything else I need to do at this point? And now the last update to the landlord's story. Hey there folks, I just wanted to give you all an update on things that have been happening since Sunday, as well as to inform you of other things that have been happening as well. This is going to be a long post because there's so much to go through when it comes giving you information, so there will not be a TLDR in this post. These are updates for Sunday afternoon, Monday afternoon, Tuesday and yesterday. They all also have to deal with my previous posts. So, after I got home on Sunday evening, my landlord decided to get hostile with me in regards to my cat and his litter box. Even though I was cleaning it out every single morning, it was getting to the point where I needed to get rid of the dirty litter and give my cat fresh litter. That was done earlier on in the day, before he even had a chance to confront me. After him talking for 95% of the time, I let him know the steps I took already to rectify the situation, and he said that it did not matter what I did, because if I did not take care of the dirty litter box smell within 24 hours, my cat had to go, and if necessary, by force. He also said that if and when he got the chance, he would come into my room and throw my cat out of the window. I took that as a threat to myself and my family, considering my cat is my child and he is my property. I let him know that if he touched my cat, I was going to hurt him. Not those exact words, but I need to keep it PG. I ended up calling the cops just to get him calmed down, and that helped. Or so I thought. On Monday afternoon after work, I headed over to the magistrate's office in order to try and get an emergency protective order for myself and my cat, because I perceived my roommate as a threat, so I wanted to take the steps necessary in order to make sure that my cat and I were protected. After talking to a magistrate, he determined that there was insufficient reason for him to issue an emergency protective order and that I should go to the General District Court on Tuesday. I left out of there, went home and went into my room, grabbing a letter, had taped to my door, which is almost exactly word for word what he sent to me in a text that morning. After I got into my room, my landlord started verbally harassing me by standing outside of my door and asking for my room's furnished property back. If I didn't give it back, he was going to call the police. He ended up doing so, and the police basically laughed in his face and left. He proceeded to verbally denigrate me for a long while after, and I never responded. On Tuesday morning, I went down to the GDC to get a preliminary protective order for myself and my cat, and gave my sworn written statement about what was going on and how I felt about the situation that was going on in the house, and what steps I would like to see taken because of the hostility of my landlord, and how I don't know what he is capable of. The judge agreed with me on it for the most part and granted myself and my property a protective order, but not my cat. Little did I know that my cat was also protected, because he's considered my property according to the protective order. Now, the protective order only protects me from hostile contact. He's still allowed to talk to me any other time that he wants, but the moment I feel that he's being hostile towards me, then I can call the cops on him and have him violated. Yesterday was a pretty quiet day up until the evening. We were talking and being peaceful, and he said something that I had a question about, and he started going off into left field about how I wasted the magistrate's time and how the magistrate left me out of his office, and how I spent however many days ferreting around trying to find a way to get him removed from his house. Not trying to do that, and how I don't know how to let things go. I told him that the reason I got the protective order was because I perceived him to be a threat, and I took those steps to make sure a threat was under control. He automatically accused me of being racist, and I ended up losing my mind over everything that he was saying and started telling him that he needed to shut his mouth before I shut it for him. I told him that I don't care about what he thought and that I would do the exact same thing if it were anyone else who threatened my cat. He of course did not believe me and proceeded to go on this tirade about how I am a fat white boy who does not have the confidence or self-esteem to have a girlfriend, and starts attacking me on other fronts, calling me ugly and unhygienic. He's a germaphobe, so if things are not cleaned in a timely fashion, you automatically are unhygienic. I ended saying a few choice words to him and went to bed, and he continued to denigrate me for at least an hour afterwards, and I ignored him. Yep, that is my day since Sunday. Keep in mind that my landlord still has not fixed his door jamb in order to give me constant access to a running shower. He also won't give me constant access right now because he does not trust me. And guys, I hope you're satisfied with that update wise. So in the end he got a protective order and all is more or less fine for now. It is still a shame though that the landlord can verbally harass him however he wants to. What would you guys do if you were stuck in this horrible situation? Let us know in the comments. And also let us know if you have ever been involved with a landlord as horrible as the one in the story. And the last one is titled "Sat down on my friend's MacBook and broke it. Offered to pay her the money for it, but now she wants more because she was upgrading anyway. So it's this or she will sue me in small claims court." I had some of my friends over at my house and one of my friends invited one of her other friends to come over. She had her MacBook on my couch when I sat on it and broke it. Since it was completely my fault, I offered to pay her the money for it and she agreed. She got it 3 years ago and it cost $2,200 at the time. I told her I would wire you the money in a week to her bank account. She has now emailed me saying that as per our conversation, she is expecting the $2,700 that I have agreed on. I didn't know why she added the extra money, so I got her number from my friend and called her to find her, telling me she's now expecting me to pay for her new upgraded MacBook since she was upgrading anyway. She said if I don't agree to do that she will be suing me in small claims court. Can a judge agree to that? Should I wire her the $2,200 or should I just tell her go sue me? Location is California. Guys, let me know in the comments, what would you do? Would you just give her the money or would you tell her to go sue you? Let us know. Next we will read the update to the story from before. I never thought this would turn out the way it did and I really felt like I learned so much stuff in the process, thanks to all of you. Here's my previous question. I went through every single comment from the 200+ ones and I sincerely thank each and every one of you. I did some research specifically for repairing the screen for the MacBook, and for her particular model it's around $310 for the screen plus the labor cost, so I wrote her back saying that since she did not accept my initial offer of $2,200, I am withdrawing that offer and offering to pay for the repair cost. She sent me an email calling me a bitch and that she's going to take me to court. I got served a few days later and went to court. I told the judge I gave her 3 options to choose from, either to write her a check for a brand new one, which was $2,200, second, get her a refurbished one from Apple or a third party, or even used, which would be around $1,400, or 3, fix her current MacBook, since the screen is the only thing affected here and it would cost around $300 plus money for labor. I printed out the email I sent her and the mail she sent back refusing, demanding the $2,700 and calling me bad names and saying we will go to court, plus the screenshots for the price quotes from different websites for a new or refurbished one and the screen fix for her particular model, and gave it to the judge. I also told him that when I offered at the very beginning to get her a new one from the Apple store, she said no, I want the money in cash. When I told her I would give her $2,200 for a new one, she said okay, but later came asking for $2,700 because she wants to upgrade. I tried to show him how it is clearly visible that she's trying to take advantage of me. She gave the judge an attitude almost the whole time, which really pissed the judge off and helped my case, I guess. After listening to both of us, he ruled that I pay 50% of the repair cost since she negligently left her laptop on the couch. So I will only be paying not more than $200 to $250 for the whole thing. If it were not for you guys, I would have paid $2,200 instead of around $200. And I honestly loved her look at the end as we walked out. I feel good for following all the advice here. And with that, we have reached the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed today's content, and if you did, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel to join our amazing community. Furthermore, don't forget to go to r/ripestories on Reddit to post your own stories if you want me to read them out in a video. I hope you have a fantastic day and I see you again tomorrow.